Alright, so we need to do a transformation from this one, the pre-image, to the image. And we want to write a composition of transformations. Now, there's more than one thing you could do here. I'm just going to pick one, but they're all going to share the same common features, and you especially need to know how to write them. Alright, so I've got my original traced here, my image. So you can probably tell from looking at the pre-image that it needs to get rotated counterclockwise 90 degrees. Now if you're going to do that rotation, you have to pick a point to rotate around. And which point you pick is going to affect what happens afterwards. So for instance, if I rotated around the point 0, 0, 90 degrees counterclockwise like so, then I end up over here, and I have the right orientation. I just need to translate into the right position. So now I would translate, so from here to there, I would go right 4 and down 4. So there's one possibility. Or I could translate, I could rotate around, say, this point, 2, 1, and then I could shift right 1 and down 3 to get into the proper position. Or I could rotate around this point right here and shift right 1 and down 1, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm just going to do the first one. I'm going to write down the first one. Rotate around the point 0, 0, 90 degrees counterclockwise. So the first thing I do goes on the far right, and it's inside the parentheses, the first set of parentheses. So rotation is a capital R. Around the origin, you can write a capital O, or you can put 0, 0. How far? 90 degrees. And remember, this is always a counterclockwise measurement. Okay, now what? I need to go right 4 and down 4. So how do I write that? Oh, to the left of the parentheses, I'm going to put a T for transformation. What happens to my x value? Well, I need to add 4 to the x value. What happens to the y value? I need to subtract 4 from the y value. So it'll be a negative 4. What would the inverse of that be? So if I'm going to undo what I just did, let me run through it again. There's the rotation and then the transformation. So I need to undo the transformation first because I'm doing everything in reverse. So undo the transformation. So this time, instead of going down 4, I'm going to go up 4. And then instead of going right 4, I'm going to go left 4. So that gets me back to that position I was in. So I'm going to first translate. So I'm going to do the opposite of my translation here, which would be going left and up instead of right and down. And I'm going to do that first. Then I'm going to rotate. Now I'm rotating counterclockwise here. So I could call that a rotation of negative 90 degrees. That's how I would show it was counterclockwise. Or equivalently, I could rotate counterclockwise. Sorry, let me back up. I need to rotate either 90 degrees clockwise. I might have said that backwards, which would be negative 90 degrees. Or I can rotate 270 degrees counterclockwise and end up in that position. It's the same either way. It's the same result. So I'm going to rotate again around the point 0, 0. I'm going to rotate, I'll call it 270 degrees. Okay.